UK may pay £10 billion as goodwill. Brexit bill exact amount Germany has paid to fill UK hole. A senior minister has revealed the government is considering a divorce bill of around £10 billion as a goodwill gesture to the EU. The new figure has emerged as Tory backbench MPs have threatened to revolt over paying any exit fee to the EU. The fury from senior Tories followed a separate Whitehall briefing that the government is considering a much higher amount of £36 billion, but senior sources in the government have said that the £36 billion figure is wrong, and former Brexit Minister David Jones accused civil servant of trying to bounce ministers into paying too much. The Daily Express was told that £36 billion is much higher than the real figure being considered, and a cabinet minister has told the Express that in fact ministers are considering £10 billion but only to smooth over the negotiations. The minister said, "We could cope with paying about £10 billion as a goodwill gesture to smooth things over." The minister added that it would be a small price to pay for a good deal, with the Treasury revealing yesterday that the UK currently pays the EU £156 million a week, £8.1 billion a year. £10 billion would cover the year after Britain is supposed to leave in 2019, which is also the final year of the EU's current budget. The EU has a funding problem because it would lose its second biggest contributor before the current budget is completed. The minister suggested that the £10 billion could be used as part of a transition deal to allow Britain to free itself from Brussels rule in an orderly fashion. It came as it was revealed Germany could have to pay up to an extra £9 billion a year into the EU budget to cover the black hole left by Brexit. The bloc's finance chief has admitted. Günther Oettinger, who is Germany's commissioner in Brussels, said his country faces coughing up a manageable single-digit billion amount between €1 to €10 billion, £900 million to £9 billion, once Britain has quit. His remarks open up the possibility that German taxpayers, who already contribute by far the most to the bloc's budget, will be asked for up to £9 billion more from 2019. Brexit campaigners have made it clear that Britain should pay nothing except for projects it will continue to participate in. But any money handed over needs to be conditional on a free trade deal. Businessman Richard Tiss, who co-chairs the Leave Means Leave group backed by more than 50 Tory MPs, said, "It all depends on the overall package. For example, if a one-off to resolve FTA and we are free to operate as we please from March 29, 2019, could be justified as part of neighbourly gesture to help the EU out of its financial black hole. But nothing should be agreed until everything is agreed, and it should be on basis that both sides accelerate talks to finish end this year." But he said the fact Britain is being pushed into paying anything is because of a lily-livered approach in Whitehall and failure to prepare for the option of walking out of talks and switching to World Trade Organization trading tariffs without a deal with the EU. Senior Tory MEP David Campbell-Bama, who sits on the European Parliament Trade Committee and is a long-standing Brexit campaigner, said, "I can live with £10 billion as a payment. About a year's worth of net contributions is acceptable if it is tied in with trade and other agreements and allows for an implementation period for introducing a new customs arrangement which would probably take a year to put in place anyway." Playing down the reports about a £36 billion offer, the Prime Minister's spokesman said that while the UK had always accepted there would have to be a fair settlement in respect of the UK's outstanding liabilities, they did not recognise the reported figure. The spokesman said, "The Prime Minister made clear in the letter triggering Article 50 that the UK and the EU need to discuss a fair settlement of both our rights and our obligations as an EU member state, but in terms of this figure I don't recognise it." Previously, Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson has said that the EU can go whistle over its demands for as much as £78 billion from Britain. and over the weekend a succession of senior backbenchers lined up to warn Theresa May that they would rebel against an exit fee. Former Cabinet Minister John Redwood said that ministers do not have the power on their own to sign off extra billions to Brussels beyond the current budget period, which ends in 2020. He added, "Ministers would be quite wrong to be talking about any figures. We don't owe them any money." Senior Conservative MP Peter Bone made it clear that a Brexit fee would not get through Parliament. He said, "One of the prime reasons the UK voted to leave the EU was to stop sending them billions of pounds per year, so it would be totally bizarre to give the EU any money, let alone £36 billion, given also that over the years that we have been in the EU or its predecessor we have given them, net, over £200 billion. So if there was going to be any transfer of money, then it should be from the EU to the UK." Jacob Rees-Mogg said, "There is no logic to this figure. Legally we owe nothing according to international law." He urged the government to stiffen its sinews. Meanwhile, Downing Street has rejected a claim by the former head of the diplomatic service that the Brexit talks have not begun. Promisingly for the UK, Sir Simon Fraser, who was the chief Mandarin at the Foreign Office until 2015, said cabinet divisions made it hard for the government to establish a clear position and that it had been a bit absent from the negotiations in Brussels. His comments were rejected by the Prime Minister's official spokesman, who said the two rounds of talks which took place between Brexit Secretary David Davis and the EU's chief negotiator Michel Barnier had made important progress. The spokesman said, "We would disagree strongly with Sir Simon's comments. The last 2 months, we have had a constructive start to the negotiations. We have covered a significant amount of important ground." As the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union said at the end of the last negotiating round, important progress has been made in understanding one another's positions on key issues. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.